Today, we are diving into a true management classic, Andy Grove's High Output Management. Now, if you don't know, Grove was the legendary CEO of Intel, and he basically wrote the playbook for how to lead a team effectively. So let's see how his ideas can completely change the way you work, and it all starts with a question that is, well, surprisingly simple.
It all kicks off with a question you've probably heard before and maybe even had a hard time answering. On the surface, it seems so innocent, right? But it really gets to the heart of what a manager's job is. Is it just running from meeting to meeting and answering emails? Grove says no. It's something way more fundamental. And he uses his fantastic analogy to explain it.
So, to explain management, you think Grove would start with, microchips and complex supply chains. But he doesn't. He starts with a simple breakfast cafe. Why? Because if you can wrap your head around the basics of making a decent breakfast, you can pretty much manage anything.
Okay, so picture this. The goal is to deliver a perfect 3-minute egg, a piece of toast, and a cup of coffee. All of it hot, all of it fresh, and all of it arriving at the exact same time. You can't just do one thing after the other. It won't work. You've got to create a flow. So you start the egg boiling, then maybe a minute later the toast goes in, and right at the end, you pour the coffee. That way, everything comes together perfectly. That, right there, is a production flow.
The real light bulb moment here is that you have to build your entire schedule around the one single task that takes the most time. In our little breakfast factory, that's the egg. It takes 3 minutes. Grove calls this the limiting step because it literally dictates the timeline for everything else you do.
But when is real life ever that simple, right? What happens if there's a huge line for the toaster, and now making toast takes 5 minutes instead of 1? Well, suddenly, your limiting step has changed. It's not the egg anymore, it's the toast. Now you have to completely replan your entire workflow around this new bottleneck. And that constant need to adjust, that is the very essence of management.
So how do you actually manage this whole factory without having to personally watch every single egg boil? You need a dashboard. You need a clear, simple set of indicators that tells you about the health of your operation in just a single glance.
Grove says you should check just 5 key things every single morning. What's our sales forecast looking like? Do we have enough eggs and bread? Is the toaster working okay? Is everyone on the team here and ready to go? And maybe most importantly, are our customers happy? Checking these every day helps you spot tiny problems before they blow up into huge crises.
But here's a crucial warning from Grove. Never measure just one thing. If you only measure your inventory levels, you might be tempted to cut them way too low just to save a few bucks. That's why you have to pair it with a counter metric, like how often you run out of stuff. This pairing forces a balance. It's not just about efficiency, it's about being effective, quantity, and quality.
Grove asks us to think about any work process as a black box. You've got inputs that go in one side, like eggs and labor, and you've got outputs that come out the other, a finished breakfast. Your indicators, those are the little windows you cut into the side of the box. They don't just show you what's happening right now, they give you leading signs, clues about your future output.
All right, this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the single most important idea in this entire book. This is the concept that will finally let you answer that question, what do you really do? It's all about understanding your output and then maximizing your leverage. This is it. This is the core thesis. Read it again. A manager's output isn't their personal to-do list. It's not how many emails they send. It's the result achieved by their entire team. Your success isn't measured by your activity. It's measured by the output of the people you lead and influence. It's a team game, and you're the coach.
Okay, so if your output is your team's output, how do you increase it? The answer is through something called managerial leverage. Think of it as the amount of team output you get for any specific thing you do. The whole goal of a great manager is to focus their limited time and energy on the activities that give them the highest possible leverage, the most bang for your buck. So what do these high-leverage activities actually look like? Well, think about it. Training one person helps one person. But training a group of 10 people, your 1 hour of work just improved the output of 10 people. That's huge leverage. A really good performance review can positively shape someone's work for months to come. Again, high leverage. It's all about creating a ripple effect with your actions.
And just as there's positive leverage, oh boy, there is definitely negative leverage. These are the things you do that actually reduce your team's output. The classic example is meddling. When a manager just does a team member's task for them. It doesn't help, it just robs that person of responsibility and a chance to learn. Or delaying a big decision. That can grind an entire team to a halt. These things are output destroyers.
So what's the big idea we should all take away from this? It's that these principles, they don't just apply to some CEO in a corner office of a giant company. They apply to every single person who manages people, no matter what their title is or what level they're at.
I love this quote from Grove because it's so empowering. You are the CEO of your team. You have the responsibility and you have the authority to figure out what your team's output should be, to create your own dashboard of indicators, and to focus your energy on those high-leverage activities that will boost performance, starting right now.
And that brings us to the final question, and this one is for you. When you really think about all the things you do in a day, your meetings, your emails, your planning, what is the one activity that creates the most output for your team? What is your breakfast factory's limiting step? Finding that and focusing on it, that's the real key to high output management.